Ask most AI personas a question and you get a lookup. A search index with a superficial style filter. It's a database wearing a voice. Look behind that AI persona and you'll find the raw material. Sometimes a person's work, their books, their interviews, a lifetime of thought. Sometimes an organization's work, its manuals, its research, its hard-won knowledge. You can learn what it says, what it can recall, but wouldn't you like to meet how it thinks? Take a step back and marvel at the speed of development in the frontier models. Every month, smarter, faster. But the thing you actually talk to, the live AI persona, hasn't kept up. The intelligence raced ahead. The presence got left behind. That gap is the problem. And closing it takes more than a bigger model. It takes taste. And taste is a generative fork done right. A fork is not a filter. It doesn't arrive after the fact to trim the excess. It is the generation, the moment where one path is taken and the others are implicitly abandoned. Every creative act is a continuous series of forks. This word, not that one. This image, not the adjacent one. This structure, not the obvious one. A selflet lives where two things meet. Voice, the way one particular mind moves, defined by the selflet creator. And generativity, the power to reach a thought that was never written down and reach it the way that mind would have. A person creates a selflet to distribute intelligence where and when it's needed. And that intelligence layer needs to speak to the user in a structured, measurable way, not by hoping it does not hallucinate. That is the tension in the space today. Who wants to talk to a deterministic recall monkey that may or may not hallucinate? The truth is, we all live inside of language. It defines us. And you can't invent capital V voice on a whim. Here's what that means at Selflet.ai. Generativity is movement through a space of possibilities. Voice is the shape of that space, the geometry that decides which paths the movement takes. A space with no voice drifts toward the average, the generic, the most likely next word. A voice-shaped space moves toward the points a particular creator would have reached. Same motion, different geometry, and so a slightly different destination. You can see it on the face of a user. Wow. Voice doesn't add anything to generativity. It bends the space generativity happens in. Voice is a constraint on how the model interpolates. Voice is the signature of the path, not the decoration on the destination. A selflet can be a simple tool for interacting with a corpus with very reliable fidelity. It can also be something much more interesting if it's engineered, designed, and created inside boundaries, or what we call a generative cone. To build an AI agent that you talk to in real time, with near-perfect fidelity to a body of work and the magic of generativity without one ever betraying the other. That's not a feature. It's closer to a work of art. It stays true to what the creator intended. And it still says something you've never heard. That's why we built the Selflet Factory, a way to engineer taste, fidelity, and generativity together into a real-time agent every time. Not a database with a voice, a generative fork of a creator's voice or a worldview, grounded, alive, and unmistakably someone's creation, with the right tooling, testing, and deployment architecture for the job. A selflet. Talk to one today on Selflet.ai.